Greetings everyone, welcome back to Blade Bias. Today we are talking about the LDY Orion-S, one of my Blade Show pickups from this past Blade Show, and a Balisong that I really didn't expect to enjoy as much as I am. There's a lot of Balisongs in my, history of doing these videos where they are a small... They're presented to me as a variation of another Balisong that company creates. And as such, I go into it expecting it to not really be that interesting of a change. I mean, how much different can the Edit Lite really be from the Edit? How much different can the Orion-S be from the original Orion? And it's always these Balisongs that I have very, very little expectations for that always end up surprising me the most. And the Orion-S is no exception to that. My dream Balisong just got better. And it's unfortunate because I'm pretty sure it's not going to really exist anymore. So that's cool. What do I mean by this is my dream Balisong, though? Well, if you haven't been around in a while, one of my favorite Balisongs ever. Not because of how it flipped, not because of how quality it was, not because of any of those things. One of my Balisongs that I described as my dream Balisong is the Orion V1 with the comb blade. I personally have one that I hit with a blowtorch because I thought it looked cool. So it's a little bit discolored. But this is a Balisong that has existed in a place where no others have. It is a comb-bladed Balisong that flips well. And that's really it. There isn't really anything else like it in the hobby. You have the really cheap stuff on Amazon that falls apart in 5 seconds. Or you have some more artistic-looking blades. I mean, like the Hydro Trainer exists, but that isn't really a comb, right? Or I'm trying, I know I think there was another example back when I did my original video on this thing when I bought it from Ty. I can't remember what that example was, but for really as long as I can remember, this is one of the only good flipping, reputable branded Balisongs that exists with a comb blade that actually mostly works, that I can carry around to actually use as its purpose as a comb. And as such, it has maintained a very special place in my collection where I don't talk about it much, but I always appreciate it. So when LDY released the Orion 1.5, it was amazing, and I gave it a very, very glowing recommendation. But they never released the trainer blade that has the comb on it, which was sorely, sorely missed in my opinion. And here we have, finally, the return of that blade in the Orion-S, a Sandwich version of the original Orion that now returns this blade to us in a modern format. And as I said before, as I alluded to earlier, I wasn't very excited for it. I mean, how much different could an Orion really be from the Orion 1.5 that I have here and that I love so much? The Orion 1.5 that I have here with the Zippy mods is an absolutely stellar Balisong. And I already have an older Orion with a comb blade. So why do I really need a new one that's basically the same in almost every way except right here with that blade again? Until I got to Blade Show and I actually tried one. What is the difference? Well, the original Orion is sandwich, so you have two pieces of the handle that are held together by what we call a spacer. If you're new to the Balisong hobby, that is what a sandwich construction Balisong is. And these spacers, as you can see, can be customized or replaced basically in any way that you want to create different experiences. Zippy made some extension spacers, which I have, and I absolutely love. This experience is a Balisong that I don't really have this experience anywhere else in my collection. I love my extended 1.5. Now on the Orion-S, this is what we call Sandwich. It's two pieces of a handle rather than three. There's no spacer here. You can see the handles come together in what looks like a typical channel implementation, but these are actually two different pieces of a handle. And so you have, in my opinion, one of my least favorite constructions, because you get the worst of both worlds in terms of you get the bad tuning of sandwich. If a screw comes loose, everything kind of rattles around, but you also get the lack of customization that you get from channel designs. I'm not a huge fan of sandwich personally, but that's not really important to this. This thing flips amazingly, and I really wouldn't have expected that from just a simple design change or a simple construction change. Why does it feel so different? Honestly, I think it really is just because of the difference in distribution and also the increase in quality that LDY has seen to their products since the original Orion came out. The original Orion was a very end-weighted Balisong, and what I mean by that is that a lot of the weight was focused at the end of the handles. I have a mod that was graciously sent to me by a member of my community, Warwack, who created wooden spacers, which kind of alleviated this end-heavy distribution a little bit and made this definitely less focused in terms of weight on the end of the handles, but it still kind of has that profile to it, which is why I've always preferred the flipping of the 1.5. The Orion-S brings that more distributed feel to the comb blade and makes it feel even better than an Orion 1.5 does. If I take out my trainer, the Orion 1.5 has always just felt a tiny bit weird. I love how it flips, but there will be some days that I pick this thing up and it just feels off. I just can't flip it right. It just isn't working for me. The Orion-S, I have not had that yet. There's a little bit more handle weight here, but it still feels a lot more neutral. I enjoy that about it. Everything that I love about the Orion 1.5 stays. It has very round feeling handles. It's got some, honestly, much better jimping than you see on the original Orion 1.5. It's got that comb blade, and this specific one has this beautiful coating. I'm pretty sure Will at the booth at Blade Show said that this wasn't Cerakote. So I actually don't know what this is coated in, but it's just a coating that makes it feel a little bit more smooth to the touch. Some of the older Orions can feel kind of sharp on some of the corners, a little bit, I don't want to say unfinished, because they don't feel unfinished, but they feel a little more unfinished than this does, if that makes any sense. And it all contributes to an experience that is just the total package. Now my dream Balisong, this Balisong where the idea of it is basically it's a one-of-a-kind, well-flipping comb blade, now actually flips like I want it to. And in my personal opinion, besides the zippy modified extended live blade on the Orion 1.5, is probably my favorite the Orion has ever flipped. If I had to organize these, it looks like this from worst to best. And I want to be clear, this still flips really well, especially for the price, considering that the Orion-S is now jumped up into the $100 price range, or at least that's what they were selling them at Blade Show for. But yeah, this thing just flips how I want it to. There isn't a crazy amount of focused weight at any points. Even though it seems like there should be with that construction, the handles feel relatively uniform. There isn't any crazy weight hot spots at the end of the handles that I've noticed. It just flips really good. It looks really good, and it's a comb. So I really can just carry this around anywhere. Use it as a tool like it's meant to. Use it as a comb unironically. I know it sounds weird, but I genuinely do sometimes. And it just actually flips. It's one of my favorite Balisongs in this price range again. Minus the zippy extension spacers, which brings up my complaint of now that it's Chanwich, I can't add extension spacers to it, because if I could do that, this would probably be one of my favorite Balisongs, sub $200 even. I would just love it so much. Oh my gosh. Every time I pick this thing up, and then I pick up my extended Orion 1.5, I'm like, ooh, I should buy more zippy spacers. And then I look at the end of the handles and I realize, oh, I can't. So minus that one tiny little complaint, I really do like this thing. And I don't even think it really needs them. I do like the redistribution of weight. This thing just flips really well. And the live blade and the trainer that I tried at Blade Show, I think I actually only tried a live blade of the Orion-S, also displayed a similar amount of increase in flipping performance from the Orion 1.5, which is why it's a shame that Will was telling people that they're kind of already done making the Orion-S, which is kind of the whole reason I bought it. He told me that, and I said, oh, well, I like how this thing flips. I kept going back to the demo that they had on the table. So I probably should get one of these things before, you know, I can't anymore. Which is a shame, but I really like it. It's got this beautiful blue and green splatter on it, which I just love. And I love the Orion-S. It's my dream Balisong, but now even better. So that's basically it. Paid for this with my own money, so I don't got to do that whole disclaimer. Huge thank you, by the way. You guys are the reason that I was both able to go to Blade Show and purchase the Balisongs that I did. Thank you for watching the videos. The ad revenue is enough that I can make some purchases sometimes, or I can go to Blade Show every year, which is just such an incredibly humbling spot to be in. So thank you guys for your continued support. I really appreciate it. But for now, I'm going to get going. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Later.